What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for tuning in. We're going to run through today's pre-market watch list. A couple things we've done today so far is entered into a trade on Plug, entered into a trade on FCEL, currently short WIMI. We already shorted JAGX today, currently up on the day about $2,000 green. So a couple of the things that we're doing right now are on Plug. So if we look at Plug here, and we go to the daily chart, the daily chart's extremely overbought. So essentially we're short this stock, and we don't believe it's just going to keep running up for forever at this pace without pulling back first. So started entering a small short here on Plug. I know there's a lot of hype. I know there's usually some consistent news that comes out with the stock, but given its acceleration, its price increase, where it currently stands on its charting, it just seems like it's more logical to be bearish. It seems as if the risk to reward is more favorable on the downside than it is the upside in this current moment in time. So essentially we are bearish Plug right now with a minimum price target of about 58. And we would like to see it below 58 for right now. Next one, which I could be a little early on Plug, but next one is FCEL. So FCEL, we are currently short as well. This one is a 600 share position for right now, but currently short FCEL. Same situation. You know, if you look at the chart on FCEL. It's essentially overbought. We feel that the risk to reward is more favorable on the downside than it is the upside for right now. So we don't want to be bullish, we want to be bearish. And we have a price target minimum of about 16 on this. We would like to see it below 16, but for now, about a minimum price target of 16. Granted, I could be a little early on some of these plays. That is totally possible. You know, it's never the easiest trying to time a perfect top, but overall, I do believe we're in the topping zone. So whether or not I have the exact entry price point from this point forward, it goes in the direction I want it to, debatable. But overall, I believe we're into an overbought location on FCEL as well, and we should see prices decrease. Let's talk about WIMI. WIMI is the penny stock from today that's had a really good move so far. First thing that we should notate is if you look back to the past, one second. Whatever. Yeah, so if you look back to the past on WIMI, you're going to see that this stock had ran all the way to, 29, 38 bucks or something like that. So it's made a really aggressive move. So this tells us, based on the past, this stock has capabilities of being a strong mover, okay? The stock WIMI right now has a float of, I think, 7 million, and it has, this could be wrong off the top of my head, but 27 million outstanding shares. So given the float and given its outstanding share count, this doesn't typically meet the requirements to be well, I don't want to say that totally, but generally when you have 27 million outstanding shares, you're not typically going to run 50, 60 points, okay? It's just not the common thing to see. It can happen, it's just a little unusual. So we wouldn't recognize this as like a true supernova like ACY or BPTH or any of those things that go from like 1 to 80. All right. Now, anyways, so with that being said, the current resistance for the market on WIMI is from $9.20 to $9.50. Okay. So if we go and look at the 1 minute chart, you will see that I have two levels here with my own red horizontal levels that are mapped out resistance at 920 to 950. So if in the event, say market open, the stock runs up to 920 to 950, pretty much I'll just be bearish in that zone and will enter bearish onto the stock. Now, if it breaks above 950 or, looks like it's going to keep trending above 950, then I would probably take the trade off myself. But for now, it makes sense to watch the stock a little bearish in the 920s to 950s or be a little more cautious on the long side if in the event you're viewing this and it's a 920 to 950. Now, could it go higher than 950? Yes. If it went higher than 950, you'd essentially be targeting around 1040 for right now. Now, let's say that WIMI wanted to go to further price targets. We might see I don't even want to say it, but it's possible we break through 950s and we could see a jump, maybe more towards 1220 to 1220. Yeah, and again, if you go and look at the 1 minute chart, right? So if you break 950, like we said, the next target would be somewhere in the 1040s to 1030s. The likelihood we hit 12 right now, 1240, it's pretty much impossible. So if in the event it goes through 950, we would only really consider it to go to about 1030, 1040, 1050, and then it would pull back again. So for the time being, we're going to look 920, 950 as resistance. Now, this is more of a public service announcement. ZOM. So there's a lot of people watching ZOM. There's a lot of people following ZOM. So we need to talk about this one. It's extremely dangerous in the sense of buying it right now. So let me explain. Let's first take a look at the chart on the right. And then while you're at it, make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video, or else your computer's going to break down today and you're going to blow your account. It wasn't me. I had a dream last night. If you didn't like the video, you're going to blow your account today. So do as you may. All right, so if you look at the screen on the right, you're going to see that just the way that you think about this when looking at the chart on the right. Excuse me. So anyways, you look at the chart on the right, you're going to see this blue line. Pretty much it just means anything over this blue line is overbought. All right, so we anticipate that you are going to see the market on ZOM back to 48 cents, below 50 cents. So you should anticipate in the near-term future, if you're watching ZOM, that the price is going to be back below 50 cents. And the more important thing that I want to touch on is something called float rotation. I'm going to make this very simple. The stock ZOM has 500 million shares to go around that can be exchanged between me and you. Yesterday, the stock traded almost 1 billion shares. So if it has 5 million shares to go around and it traded 1 billion shares yesterday, that means the entire supply of the stock went around 2 times. So that means that currently all the possible shares to buy and sell were bought and sold 2 times yesterday. So if you look at yesterday's trading range, you will notice that the stock traded from a range of about $1.48 to a high of $1.48 to a low of $1.12. So if all the shares that could possibly be traded on the open public exchanged hands or went around 2 times yesterday from the price of $1.12 to $1.48, you now know that the entire float or shares to go around or the average shareholder average price is going to be from $1.12 to $1.48. Because if the entire supply of the stock was bought yesterday and the stock only traded from $1.12 to $1.48, the entire supply of the stock has now been purchased, sold, and or now is owned in yesterday's trading range. That means there's a lot of people holding shares of the stock at an average price of $1.48 to $1.12. And they don't really have any long-term trending support on the stock until about 50 cents. So that being said, this is a common scenario where something gets way overbought, has too much volume, gets way too crowded, the float exchanges hands to new buyers. The likelihood that anybody is holding this from the 6 cent range is very unlikely. Most everybody that bought this at 6 cents, 50 cents, 80 cents, even 90 cents, everybody who bought up to 90 cents probably doesn't really even own the stock anymore, because everybody who bought from the $1.12 to $1.48 traded the float 2 times. So anybody trading from yesterday is now the shareholder of the stock. So this is what happens when float rotates, and this can cause a nasty drop in the stock. So I anticipated that today, we recommended ZOM as a sell yesterday, so I anticipated yesterday going into today, we were going to start seeing a sell-off, specifically because we saw the float rotation. I could be wrong, it could go higher, but ultimately on the downside, your target is still going to be 50 cents for right now. So even if it went up to say $2 today, it's going to naturally fall back to about 50 cents. So timing is everything here, but trend is very important. And what we're seeing is a 50 cent price target right now for ZOM. All right, next one we'll talk about is NEO. The reason we'll talk about NEO is because why not? Everyone loves NEO, especially in the Matrix. So NEO, as we had mentioned the other day, NEO still has a price target of $74 for us. Okay, so let me explain. Simplest way to put it is if you look at both of these charts. So we'll first start with the right. Look at the right screen. So the right screen we're projecting is going to go to about this green line. So if you look at the right screen, you'll see there's this green line around 75.50, 75.52. So our price target right now is about 74 to 76. And if you look at the left screen, it would have been, go back to the right screen. So if you look at the right screen, target's the green line. And, you know, when you look at the right screen, you're going to notice that we're kind of having like this little pullback. If you notice, this pullback started right at this dotted trend line, and it started right at, on the left screen now, or maybe it's the right screen depending on how it displays on YouTube, you're going to see that there's this orange trend line. So if you think about it, the stock has naturally ran up into its current resistance. And once we can successfully get through the 66 mark and all these trend resistances, then we should start pushing more towards the $75 price. So we're currently in a position where the momentum does favor the upside, but we're currently seeing a pullback, as we should, off of this all-time high push as we've hit double resistance. So really what we're looking for right now is the momentum to continue, NEO get bought up over 66.44-ish, and then head more towards the 75 price. When it gets to 75, that would be a location where you would consider watching it bearish for a short play, just as you've seen that it did here around the 66. So the same play that you're seeing here at 66, this pullback, is probably very similar, and if not bigger, that's going to occur when we get to 74. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much the morning watch list for everybody. Hope you guys have a great day trading. I'm hoping I do too. Everybody, I will see you on the next video. Make sure to thumbs up the video, share it with your mom because she loves stocks, share it with your grandma because she loves the YOLO calls, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.